Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're at the Livingston County Board of Commissioners meeting for March 24, 2025. I'm officially calling the meeting to order. We'll start with a moment of prayer if you bow your heads. O Lord, our heavenly Father, be thou present, God of wisdom, and direct the deliberations of this honorable assembly of commissioners. Enable us to settle matters on the surest and best foundation. May truth, liberty, and justice flourish and prevail here in all of Livingston County and our United States. Amen.
Amen.
If you'd all kindly stand, remove your hats, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we have a roll call.
Commissioner Drick,
Here.
Commissioner Helserman,
Here.
Commissioner Domas,
Here.
Commissioner Sample,
Here.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Here.
Commissioner Deaton,
Here.
Commissioner Fiani,
Here.
Commissioner Panovich,
Here.
Commissioner Gross.
Here.
Quorum is present.
Thank you. Agenda item number 5 calls for approval of the agenda. Can we get a motion?
I move to approve the agenda with the removal of resolution 12E.
Thank you. Is there a second? to
Second.
Approving the agenda with the removal of 12E as in Edward?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, roll call vote by voice vote. All those say aye. Any opposed, say nay. Ayes have it 9-0. We have a approved agenda with the removal of E. Next up is a recognition of our county clerk. Commissioner Nakagiri, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's an honor, my honor, to be part of this celebration. I would like to invite up at this time Clerk Hundley and Patrice Johnson, who will be making the presentation. Just give a little bit of background. The Michigan Fair Elections Institute has recognized our county clerk as one of the best, and that doesn't surprise me at all, because I've worked with Betsy for 6 years and know that she does a great job on behalf of the county. She is very diligent, very transparent, and it's been an honor to work with her. And so with that being said, let me introduce Patrice Johnson, who's going to make the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you. After the election, some of our group, actually Tim Vetter is here, they were trying to get the data in terms of who voted. And the Secretary of State was not releasing the information. So Tim contacted the various clerks to ask for that information. And we kept track of who responded, when they responded. Some denied. Some said it would be an exorbitant amount of money. And there were really, of the 18 counties, 22%, which was just a handful. Pardon? 83, yes, sorry. 22% responded positively within 5 days. And Elizabeth Hundley was one of those. And we're very grateful. So we have, Michigan Fair Elections has, it's called the Sunlight Award, because the Supreme Court Justice said that sunlight is the best disinfectant. And we appreciate your honoring average citizens so that they could see what into government and what is happening. So we appreciate you very much, and it's my pleasure to award you the Sunlight Award. Thank you.
It truly is an honor to be the first to receive this award. I have to thank my staff. I've got a great elections division and, you know, our staff really helps the elected official. But the policy starts at the top. And my policy is transparency. And I have worked on that since taking office. You can either talk with action or you can talk with words. And I choose to talk with action. I have made transparency a top priority. We made campaign finance available to, you know, the campaign finance records are available online. You no longer have to visit our records. This data belongs to the people, and it truly is an honor to receive this award. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It, Wes and commissioners, I'd like to provide Michigan election law book that we published for everyone here, and we have got extras too, so we can provide those to folks in the audience if they'd like. And then I have a letter for every commissioner as well. And Elizabeth, I forgot to give you your letter. There you go. Oh, great. Thank you. Yes, if you could help me hand those out, that would be terrific. Thank you.
If I may ask one question before we wrap up, I was surprised when I saw the report that was written and the variability in how transparent some counties are versus others, the willingness to provide the information quickly at low cost. And, I was wondering, Ms. Johnson, if you had any thoughts on how individual citizens could get involved in, helping make sure we have, the most transparent and the cleanest elections. If you would share your thoughts on that, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, one of the best ways people could get involved is on election time. During election time, Livingston County, as you know, runs very solid elections, and you're supposed to every election area jurisdiction is supposed to have an equal number of Republican and Democrat election workers. They're called poll workers or election inspectors. Detroit, we discovered just before the election, just after the primary this year, that Democrats were outnumbering Republicans by 7-1, probably even a little bit more than that, because a lot of the folks who were saying they were Democrats were Republicans had been voting Democrat in Democrat primaries. So it was much higher than that, actually. So we put out a call to action, and we had people from all over the state. You can become an election inspector in any area as long as you're not running for office in that precinct. So I would encourage people to maybe go to Detroit, become an election inspector, and stand up for visibility and checks and balances, which is so essential, because eyes on a project, sunlight is the best disinfectant. So if you can participate in the election process, that's very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. And Betsy, thank you very much for congratulations.
Betsy, would you come up here and get your picture taken with us? Yeah, wherever you want. I mean, how about up here?
Vote up here.
You have the county map behind you.
Like, Patrice in the picture as well, Commissioner?
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
Patrice,
By the way, that was my second choice.
Patrice, would you like to come on up for the pictures as well?
I want you both.
Thank you. The only one that won't vote is other than here.
We'll wait for her. That would be okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
You should be here. Gotta put this rough one on. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner. Thank you.
Some of those are when you were big events. Something I said again. Oh, geez, I thought I was listening.
Next on the agenda is item number 7, correspondence. I'm seeing none. We will go on to number 8, which is our call to the public. This is a 3-minute per person chance to inform the commission of what you'd like us to know. And we do it by cards, and then we'll do it by Zoom. Madam Clerk, you can take control of the cards.
Luann Lathrop from Heartland Township, followed by Alan, I believe it's Rigel. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that.
Hi, I'm Luann Lathrop. I'm a person in long-time recovery. In regards to Resolution 2025-0346 concerning the opioid settlement funds, addiction affects all aspects of our lives. Our friends, families, coworkers, and community all suffer in the wake of substance abuse. I am Vice Chair of our Board of Directors of the Livingston County Area Alano Club. We provide a safe and sober facility for those in recovery, their families, and the public at large. We have been addressing these issues continuously for over 24 years, providing for those who seek a better life. We are a nonprofit, volunteer-run 501(c) organization. We are not affiliated with any other organization. We have no agenda. We only wish to fulfill our primary purpose, which is to serve those who seek recovery and those affected by addiction. How do we do this? We give shelter to over 32 recovery-based meetings every week. We are open 365 days a year. We are volunteer run. We have over 39,000 touch points each year. We also provide safe and clean and sober social and personal growth opportunities. We put on over 25 events each year, such as St. Patrick's Day parties and New Year's Eve parties and many others. There were over 100,000 opioid deaths in the U.S. Co-addiction is the norm. Of the 97 overdose deaths in Livingston County between March 1st, 2020 and April 30th, 2024, 60% involved multiple substances. We have come to a point in our history where we need to buy the building we use. I would like to request that the Livingston County Area Alano Club be added to the list of 7 and/or sent the request for proposal as defined in the resolution. I have contacted my county commissioner as directed by the chair of the commission. Also, if anybody wants to donate, there's our QR code that on the flyers handed out. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We have Alan from Pinckney, Hamburg, followed by Jim Benzmiller.
I'm talking in regards to the bond financing for the Fluke Dam for the Special Assessment District. Alan Regal, 3534 Windwheel Point Drive, Pinckney, Livingston County resident for over 30 years. I'm a lakefront property owner. I'm also a board member of the Huron River Chain of Lakes Association that represents the SAD district. I'm representing the members that have voted with us. I'm here to provide our full support through our membership regarding this infrastructure project to repair and improve the operation of the dam. The dam was built in 1966 to control the lake levels. When I attended the previous commissioners meeting, I did not hear anything about the reason for the dam repairs. We know the dam's purpose is to maintain the lake levels as agreed upon in the court order. There are established winter and summer lake levels and is monitored 24 hours a day. The Fluke Dam has 5 flood control gates. In 2023, one of those gates broke, so it's inoperable. A second one by the engineering team, imminent danger of failure of that one. So that one is now offline. So 2 out of the 5 gates they're not working. Okay, so teams from Livingston, Washington Colony, they developed a SAD to repair the dam, that district that was already in place. At the annual meeting last year of the Huron River Chain of Lakes of the Portage Lake Yacht Club, we had a full house of attendees, state senators, state reps, township supervisors, DNR commissioners from both the counties, and discussed with the lakefront owners the condition of the dam and a solution. A court here on August 14th in the Washtenaw County to consider the revisions to the SAD district. That went before the property owners and everyone was mailed the information to attend. Not one person refuted the SAD district at all and what was transpiring. 5 Hercula board members attended along with several citizens, plus an option was provided for participation online. Again, no one refuted the SAD district for what was going on. Recently, on March 1st, we had another Hercula meeting where we had our state senator Sue Shank, state rep Jennifer Collin, trustees from Putnam and Dexter, drain commissioners of Livingston County, and the water resource commissioner of Washtenaw County. And a few of the engineers attended and provided further updates to the association. Final words, the dam needs to be repaired. It's 58 years old. There's 2 gates that are broken. And, you know, the Washtenaw County Board commissioners have already passed their bond financing. So this relies on this board. The SAD district is made up of lakefront owners, lake access lots, marinas, restaurants, et cetera. Those are the ones who are paying for the repairs. It all depends on the dam control to the lake levels. We need you to support this. If you vote no, then I recommend you come to our meeting on May 10th. Tell the lake owners, property owners, association owners, business owners why you voted no. Remember Midland, what happened when there was inaction that was taken by the state? I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Jim Bensmiller from Brighton Township, followed by Jean Amador.
Hello, I'm Jim Speller, and I came to speak as a member of the Livingston County Area Alamo Club. On a personal note, I didn't bring all the data points that some of my fellow members have. Just on a personal experience, I've been in recovery quite a long time and been around a number of different Alamo clubs in the state. And I just wanted to make a wish in a sense to add our name to the potential grant money for some of the opioid settlement. We've been in existence in the county in a long time, but we have flown under the radar due to a gray area between the social aspects of the club and anonymity that's based in recovery 12-step programs. And so in my experience, most long-term clubs I've been around have been successful. They found a way to have funding or buy their own building, you know, through maybe private donations, generous benefactor as such. So that is our goal. Our landlord would like to get out of the rental business, and he's a member of the club, and he has a soft spot for us. So he's we're trying to work with us. So that's why we're trying to find some funding to purchase our building for some long-term stability and viability in the community. And we've sprung back pretty well from COVID. We only had to shut down for a while. And so we're just looking toward the future to remain established in this community and provide some long-term recovery for those seeking it. We offer, you know, a safe, sober environment, a lot of activities, and it just in addition to tons of weekly meetings. And so that fellowship is extremely important to people, especially new in recovery, as they have that place to come and hang out, establish friendships. About 95% of my friendships these days are people in recovery, and that has been aided long-term as like our club and other clubs and such in the state and the country kind of thing. And so we just like to kind of try to move forward and increase our viability in the future. Thanks.
Jean Amador from Brighton Township, followed by Tammy Higgins.
All right. I am Jean, and I am a longtime Livingston County resident, and I'm also a member of the Livingston County Alano Club. And I'm just going to read this as fast as I can so I can make the 3-minute mark. I was fortunate enough to find myself in recovery at the age of 17 in 1988. My saving grace was the Alano Club in Brighton. There I found my safe place. I would visit frequently, even after school, just to do my homework. There were several young people in recovery at that time, and we all became fast friends. We spent many hours at the club playing euchre, attending recovery meetings, and just hanging out together. The club was sold in 1993, and we were all devastated. We had nowhere to go. We still tried to meet up, go to other meetings, but it just wasn't the same. Eventually, one by one, my friends started going back to their old lives. They relapsed, and I was barely hanging on myself. It was not until 1988 that we would have another opportunity for an Alano Club, and I was part of the beginning of that club, but we were struggling to get people involved and to raise money to keep it open. I eventually myself relapsed in 2001 during this phase. I am overjoyed that other people stepped up and made the club what it is today, the Livingston County Area Alano Club. This is the place that I would return to in March of 2019 to save my life. When I walked back in those doors, I was welcomed by a woman behind the counter who told me everything would be okay. And she was right. I was home. I attended my first recovery meeting in 18 years, and I have not had a drug or a drink since that day. I found myself at the club for meetings 3 times a day. They do 7 a.m., noon, 5:30, 8 o'clock. I began to make my friends again, and I started to feel part of something bigger than myself, something I haven't felt in a very long time. The club was better than I thought it could be. It was not only still open, but it was thriving. There were people of all ages with varying degrees of addiction. One observation I had was the amount of young people struggling with opioid addiction. Many more than when I first came in at 17. Nowadays, 90% of young people ages 17 to 30 are coming in with opioid and alcohol dependence. My eyes were open to what an epidemic this has become, and right here in Livingston County. These are my family, my friends, and they are hurting. When they come to the club, they have hope. They see other people recovering and see how much fun we are having in recovery, and they latch on tight. We recover together. When I recently heard that our building was up for sale and we didn't have the funds to purchase it, my heart sank, like literally sank. I remember the devastation of my earlier days and how so many of my friends relapsed and didn't live to make it back. What will happen to all of us? Where will we go? How many of us will die? Unfortunately, I know the answer to the last question. Far too many. We need a club in Livingston County. It is our haven, a place we call home, a place we belong, a place we have fun, and most importantly, a place we recover. Please consider the Livingston County Alano Club in the future in regards to the opioid settlement money. Thank you.
Tammy Higgins from Iosco, followed by Danica Muck.
Hello, Tammy Higgins from Iosco. You guys know me. I haven't been here in a while, but you've seen me in other places in the county. I have 540 or 56 signatures, you know, that I'm collecting for the Unity letter. And what that is about is I want the modernization of our roads and our transportation systems to include the complete streets concepts listed in our master plan from 2018, our trails plan from 2020, and our transit plan from 2019. I want to see a resolution. I want to see, a special council, like you put together for the health department, right? Like to talk about this, work with the Livingston County Road Commission to make our streets safer for our motorists, bicyclists, and pedestrians, and having a reliable bus service. There's people here, I think, that could use that and utilize that and be kept safe on our roads. Again, I like to say we don't have one bike lane in our county, not one bike lane. I do want to say one of the notable signatures in here too is I did talk with Alan Hatfield at Community Connect, and he's a veteran, and he said he would like to see these kind of things in our county too. I mean, a lot of people are disabled or, need help or can't drive for various reasons or can't afford to. We got to care about everybody. I was happy to see a lot of the commissioners at our Rosa Parks Transportation Equity Breakfast. I hope you enjoyed the breakfast. I'm here also to invite you to, I got goodies. Our save the date for Do It for Dan ride is May 4th. Dan Horrell is the reason why Go Live Co. was formed. He was killed by a distracted driver in our Island Lake State Rec. You guys know that I got involved with this. That's his wife Jane over there. My son was critically injured on Bull Run. Just a kid going fishing, enjoying our beautiful county, and he was hit and in a wheelchair for 3 months. So I will leave these with you, and then I'm going to start with a little prayer or a poem from Teresa Avila and why I continue to do this. And I would hope that all of you would take this, and I want to let the people on Zoom and in this room, you guys are welcome to some of these cards too, and to join us on the Do It for Dan bike ride. Christ has no body. Christ has no body but yours. No hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes in which he looks. Compassion on this world. Yours are the feet which he walks to do good. Yours are the hands with which he blesses the world. Yours are the hands, yours are the feet, yours are the eyes, and yours are the body. Christ has no body but yours. No hands, no feet on this earth but yours. Yours are the eyes with which he looks. Compassion on this world. Christ has no body now on earth but yours. That's why I'm here all the time. That's why you see me in this county. I don't want people killed. I don't want people injured on our roads. Like the family from the gentleman from December 23rd, which you should know about, that's in the news, when a hit and run is killed. It's traumatic. Every time I hear about these things, and for all the families that have gone through this, if we care about people and life in this county, let's do something about making our roads safer. Thank you. And I'll leave these with Elizabeth.
Danica Muck from Iosco Township, followed by Janine Ayer. Oh, no, 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 no.
Hi, my name's Danica Muck. I'm here on behalf of MSU Extension as a thank you. Through 4-H, I've been able to go to many, many things. And just this year, not even all of it, I've been able to go to National 4-H Congress and take their leadership classes. I represented Michigan at the Arabian Nationals Horse Judging Association. I was on the Serving and Planning Committee for Spectacular Youth Leadership Institute, and I taught a class on Words Have Power. I also taught parliamentary procedure in Livingston County for many, many years. And this year I became a member of State Youth Leadership Council. I also was a part of a zookeeping apprenticeship, which I hope will help me with my future jobs. And again, thank you so much for your support. It helps so many kids with finding out what they want to do with their future. Thank you.
Janine Ayer, Genoa Township, followed by David Reeder.
Good evening, Commissioners, and thank you for your service to our county. As a Livingston resident and board member of Michigan Fair Elections Institute, I just wanted to thank you for featuring Clerk Hundley's recognition award today. I was not surprised that Clerk Hundley responded so promptly to the December 2024 FOIA request regarding the November 2024 election. In my personal interactions with her, I have found Clerk Hundley to be both knowledgeable of and very conscientious to follow both state and federal election law. Her strong leadership and integrity are recognized by her peers statewide, as evidenced in her recent former role as president of the Michigan County Clerks Association. She juggles all her many responsibilities as county clerk well and is a great asset to Livingston County. She was just one of 18 county clerks who responded within 5 days of the identical FOIA requests sent to all 83 Michigan county clerks. There were 7 counties that completely denied this lawful request for public records, and 26 of 83 counties failed to even respond. And I'm going to give you a copy of the report here. These county clerks and/or their offices are all integral in running our elections. They displayed a complete lack of transparency and a failure to follow FOIA law. These included counties like Wayne County, Saginaw, Midland, Lapeer, Kalamazoo, and Genesee, among others, that did not respond or provide publicly FOIA-able information. My simple question to them would be, why not follow FOIA law and be transparent with elections? What is there to hide from Michigan citizens? Election integrity, transparency, and accuracy are bipartisan issues. I suggest and I want to encourage, just as Patrice Johnson did earlier, that citizens who value transparency and conformity to existing laws during elections work as election inspectors and poll challengers in these counties that lack transparency regarding their election data and/or who fail to follow basic FOIA laws and other laws. Elections are the voice of American citizens, and we must take responsibility to safeguard it, even if it means traveling an hour or to another county to work an election. In 2024, our Michigan Fair Elections Institute partnered with other organizations to recruit election inspectors and poll challengers to Wayne County and other large counties. I know some Livingston residents who work elections in Detroit and other cities year after year, and we apparently, based on this FOIA result, need to branch out to these other aforementioned counties. I hope more Livingston residents can participate, and perhaps the Livingston Board of Commissioners can also encourage this effort in some way. Thank you for your attention.
Dave Reeder, Marion Township, followed by Douglas Helserman.
Believe it or not, this is my first call to the public.
And you picked us.
I've either been sitting up where you are or making presentations on behalf of the court or the prosecutor's office. Over the years, I have worked with Clerk Hundley in many aspects, not only with the election division, but all the other services that she provides. She is an excellent leader, and I'm a little bit biased, but I must say that I not only think that Clerk Hundley is a good clerk, but the best clerk in the state of Michigan. As you know, she headed up the association, now has received this award. She has assembled an excellent staff. She is a leader for putting that staff together, seeing that they're trained and they provide exceptional service. I was extremely pleased during my tenure with the circuit court for the services that she provided, the assistance she provided to the court, as well as in my capacity as the prosecutor. So I would like to congratulate her on receiving this recognition.
Thank you, Your Honor. Doug Helserman, Handy Township, followed by Megan Reckling.
Good evening. I would like to also echo the good words about our clerk. I would vote for her as the best one also. We have seen her in action. We have dealt with her. She has helped us through a lot of election things, and I just want to thank you for all of your work. Every once in a while, I get a feeling that I should say something before I come here and see what the crowd is. And so our country seems to be divided. And after the Civil War, President Lincoln talked about how to deal with people you didn't agree with or people that you won over. Anyways, the people who didn't vote for President Trump in 2020, I have never heard them explain the benefits of having an open border, the benefits of having criminals by a shocking number from foreign gangs. I've never heard the advantage of inflation or limiting our gas production. I've never heard them talk about the benefits of men in women's locker rooms or men in women's sports competitions. Never heard them talk about the advantages of waste, fraud, and abuse. The Bible speaks of overcoming evil with good. And when we understand what is evil, it is not to overcome evil by being evil yourself or by retribution. The way to overcome evil is to do good. And I would ask everyone in our county to join our new administration in trying to do good and overcome the evils that have been in our country. And I just ask, I think that's the way to peace, the way forward for our country. And I just ask for us all to work together towards that. Thank you.
Megan Reckling, Handy Township, followed by Larry Parsons.
Good evening, Commissioners. Judge Reeder is biased, but I think I'm probably the most biased one sitting in this room. I wanted to take a minute to thank you all for honoring our clerk. As somebody who has literally submitted hundreds of FOIAs across the state of Michigan to local units of government, to county units of government, to the state of Michigan, I can say that there is no FOIA coordinator who responds as quickly and as low cost to the citizens that she is representing as the clerk of Livingston County does. I have seen it all, from $1 million FOIA fees to redacting information that is kind of silly to redact from clerks on both sides of the aisles, Republicans and Democrats. We are very honored to have her here in Livingston County. And so thank you guys for recognizing that and honoring her service to us. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Larry Parsons, Heartland, Michigan.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Thank you. First off, congratulations to our wonderful clerk. It's a wonderful thing that happened here today, recognizing such a hardworking person for our community. I'm proud to be able to call her a friend. Tonight, I want to talk about the opioid crisis. A lot of you know me. You know that I lost a daughter to a fentanyl overdose. It's a hard thing to talk about. When I look back at all the things that happened, she'd been in and out of rehab 32 times. Sadly, she was raped and beaten beyond recognition. I held her in my arms. Didn't know, well, I knew it was her, but you couldn't tell by looking at her who it was. I'm sure some of you remember that on the 19th of December, 2019, I made national news when I turned Alyssa Slotkin's Oakland County University Town Hall meeting on its head to bring attention to a lot of the partisanship, the open borders, and the fentanyl that's killing our children. These policies need to change. Hopefully, we're going to get that change. But she was in and out of rehab over 30 times. She reacted very well when the system was hard on her. When the judges threw the gavel down and threatened her with serious prison time, she straightened up. And the Alano Club was something that really helped her till she met her husband. There were so many times that we would take her to rehab, and as soon as our taillights were out of sight, he'd show up with a pocket full of drugs. We do get to go visit her gravesite, but there's not enough that we do to help people. I'm a blessed person, right? I can take a drink or not take a drink. Drugs, I have no interest in any of them. None. I don't even like to take prescription drugs when the doctor prescribes them. But not everybody's like me. Not everybody's like us. Some people take one drink, they have to drink until they're numb. Others, like me, drink half a beer and dump the rest out because I just don't want any more. The more we do, the better off we are as a society. And to save these lives, the Alano Club does a lot of good. And it's something that we should really think hard and seriously about to help these people that sometimes can't help themselves. Because I know what it's like. I know what it's like firsthand. I've seen it, and it's ugly. It's very ugly. So please do everything you can to help people, because it's something we can be proud of, something we're proud of to do. We think of Megan every day. Thank you, everybody.
I have no additional cards.
Have Lori Cowan.
Thank you. Lori, can you hear us?
Yeah, thank you very much.
You
I'm
may
Lori
proceed.
Cowan from Unadilla. I'm Unadilla from okay, I'm Lori Cowan from Unadilla Township. And on behalf of myself as trustee and the entire township board, I'd like to thank you for passing out of committee to the full board the construction of an EMS substation in Putnam. I'm hoping you will approve resolution 036 and 037 tonight, giving the final okay for this project. For our underserved community, this will be a game changer in saving lives. So I thank you ahead of time and hopes to have the right outcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other on Zoom?
I don't see any other hands, but I did have Bill, who's got me in the chat and asked if he could speak. So I'm going to call his name and see if he wants to talk. I'm not for sure. He didn't respond back. So give me just 1 second, Bill. Bill, you can go ahead and talk. He's unmuted, so I don't know if I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and mute him back, and then maybe we can get him in the second call to public.
Thank you. Please recall that. Good. And then I see no other hands up on Zoom, so I'll now call to a close the call to the public, item number 8 on our agenda, and move on to number 9, which is approval of a set of minutes, A through E, beginning with meeting minutes dated February 24, 2025, meeting minutes dated March 10, 2025, work session minutes dated February 26, 2025, closed session minutes dated February 24, 2025, and closed session minutes dated March 10, 2025. Can I get a motion, an omnibus motion for 9A through E? I'll move, Gross.
Second, Deaton, Alpha through Echo.
Motion by Gross, support by Deaton. It'll be a voice vote. All those in favor kindly say aye.
Aye.
Opposed kindly say no. It's a 9-0 voice vote that I hear. So they are approved A through E. We're on to tabled item number 10, tabled items from previous meetings. I find none, but if a commissioner has one, please bring it to my attention. We're on to number 11, which is reports. Any commissioner have a report that they'd like to make to the rest of the commissioners? Commissioner Nakagiri, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to inform my colleagues, I attended the recent Romaine Library.
Excuse me, Commissioner, we cannot hear you. Can you please make sure your mic's turned on?
How's that?
Much better. Thank you.
Sorry about that. I wanted to share with my colleagues, I attended a recent Romaine Library Board meeting where they changed their policy and they'll now recite the Pledge of Allegiance prior to every meeting. It was controversial back in November, just 3-4 months ago, when the board voted it down 4-3 to say the Pledge of Allegiance. And then elections have consequences, and there are people now that the majority sees the value of doing the Pledge of Allegiance. So I want to commend the board for approving the Pledge of Allegiance. And I would also tell you that in the debate and discussion and in prior minutes, that Romaine Library is the first library in Livingston County to recite the pledge before its meeting. I was somewhat shocked by that. And if you live in a district that's outside of Romaine, you might consider talking to your library board members. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other commissioners wish to do a report? Seeing none, we're now finished with item 11. We're moving on to item number 12, entitled Resolutions for Consideration. The first one is number 2025-03-026. It reads, Resolution appointing the Equalization Department Director, brought to us by Board of Commissioners. Can I get a motion?
So moved, Nakagiri.
Support, Helserman.
Motion by Commissioner Nakagiri, support by Commissioner Helserman. Nathan, please. Thank you.
Want to thank the members of the Personnel Committee and many members of the board for conducting interviews for this position last week. The committee recommended Brendan Sheets unanimously for this position. Brendan has been with the county since 2021. The last few years, he's been our deputy director. He's been preparing for this role. He has the proper certifications. He's going to be a great fit among our directors and our leadership team at the county. So I would encourage you to support this tonight and I appreciate your consideration for this.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Seeing none, we'll go to a voice vote. All those in favor, kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. I'm hearing 9-0, voice vote approved. Congratulations. Would you like to say a few words? It's your choice. Thank you, guys. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. We're on to resolution number 12B on the agenda. It's 2025-03-027. It's a resolution approving an appointment to the Livingston County Tax Allocation Board. It's brought to us by Board of Commissioners.
So move, Helserman.
Thank you.
Support, Nakagiri.
Motion by Helserman, support by Nakagiri. It's a appointment of Chuck Wright. Questions, analysis, comment? I'll close that portion. We'll go into a voice vote. All those in favor kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 9-0. Congratulations, Chuck.
Thank you.
You want to say some things? Keep it limited to maybe a half an hour and you're good. Thank you. We're on to 12C. It's number 2025-03-028. It's a resolution approving an appointment to the Livingston County Community Corrections Advisory Board brought to us by Board of Commissioners and/or Sarah Applegate. And I believe we have Sheriff Murphy at the hot seat.
Yes, yes, matter of fact, you do. I'm not quite as good looking as Sarah, but here we are. Her kid had a lacrosse game tonight, so I'm stepping in. But before we get started, I got to go off script. You wouldn't expect anything else. I want to file a formal complaint against Chris Tovey. As I'm looking at the picture up here, there's got to be a filter on that camera, that webcam, because my hair is not that gray. And secondly, I would just like to say, when the sheriffs all get together, we talk about you guys, the county boards that we have to work with. We also talk about our other electeds. And you heard a lot of good stuff about Betsy today, but I can tell you that not just in this county, not just in this area, but she has a reputation throughout the state of being one of the finest clerks in the state, if not I think the finest. But that is a true compliment. So I know you haven't brought this up for a vote yet, but this is kind of a formality. The way the statute lays out, the members of the Community Corrections Board are listed out by statute of those that make up that board, and the prosecutor is one of them. So
We need a motion.
yeah, no, certainly answer any questions. But we would support Carolyn Henry being named that.
So move, Sample.
Second.
Thank you.
He was completely off.
I know. That's what I do.
Voice vote. All those in favor of Carolyn Henry being put on the Livingston County Community Corrections Advisory Board, kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 9-0. Thank you, Sheriff.
Even brought my adult supervision and she failed, so there.
Thank you.
And Carolyn, if you'd like the microphone for a minute or two, you're allowed.
My resolution is up next, so I can give Sheriff Murphy the name of my hairdresser.
Good one.
Very good. We're on to 12D. It's a resolution number 2025-03-029. It's a resolution accepting a 2025 National Crime Victim Rights Week grant brought to us by our prosecutor, Carolyn Henry. Can I get a motion?
Move the resolution, Mr. Chair.
Support, Gross. Motion by Domas, support by Gross. You have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. First and foremost, I do want to congratulate Clerk Hunley. Thank you so much for the work that you do for our community. I am honored to be part of this community that you serve, so thank you. And I appreciate the time that the Commissioners are giving to me tonight to respectfully request that you allow us to accept this grant that we have been given the opportunity to accept for National Crime Victims' Rights Week. I know I presented at committee, but I may not have
have indicated at the time that I was before the SIPSIG committee that there were over 115 applications for this grant that was applied for. And our office was one of 18 offices that were given approval or given permission to have this grant. So that's quite an honor for our victim advocates that worked very hard to put this grant together. And year after year, put together various different events to honor and to advocate and to recommend or to basically just bring awareness to victims of crime to our community. So I appreciate the time that the commissioners are giving me today, and I would respectfully request that you allow us to accept this grant that was awarded to our office.
Thank you. Discussion. Commissioner Nakagiri, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to share with my colleagues and our prosecutor a situation that I became recently aware of. I was shocked, and I wanted to ask our prosecutor if anything can be done. So I had provided a copy of a Lansing State Journal article dated August 23rd, 2024, talking about Rashad Trice getting a second mandatory life term in the death of a Lansing toddler. So that is quite egregious, but the detail behind that is even more egregious. And so let me share with everybody the detail behind the story. Rashad Trice was charged with 5 felonies, including including assault with a dangerous weapon as a habitual 4th offender by the Livingston County Prosecutor's Office on August 11th, 2021. He pled guilty to the 5 felonies on January 7th, 2022. At the time of commission of the offense, he had pled guilty to other violent crimes, including domestic violence. He failed to appear for sentencing on those charges and was on warrant status at the time of his violent crimes in Livingston County. In addition, he had numerous other warrants out for his arrest. Sentencing guidelines for him were 14 to 58 months. However, a local judge, Judge Hattie, who was assigned to the case, gave him just a year in county jail. Rashad Trice asked for leniency as he had a child on the way. He was released after 10 months in jail. He quickly violated his probation by hitting his daughter in the face with a phone charger cord. Notwithstanding his prison guidelines, assault charges, criminal past, committing assault crimes, in violation of probation, the judge only sentenced Rashad Trice to, quote, attend parenting classes and provide proof to the probation officer agent. The defendant to report to probation office twice a month for the next 60 days. Mr. Trice later strangled and killed his daughter with a phone charger cord, and that's the article that I had provided to you. I mean, that is so egregious to that, and I'm just wondering, I mean, certainly his daughter was a victim of crime. I mean, what on these situations of, I'll say, light sentencing, what can citizens do about that?
Thank you. I appreciate you bringing this to the attention of so many of our community that's here, people who are listening. I am extremely familiar with that case, and it is absolutely heartbreaking, especially given the fact that that young girl was killed with a phone charger cord, that we talked about often within our office that may have likely been the phone charger cord that she was hit with as a result of that probation violation. And our office went in and advocated very strongly at the time that he was before the court for the probation violation for a sentence in the Michigan Department of Corrections. When you ask what can we do in these types of circumstances, and unfortunately, that's not the only case where it happens. It happens more than I would like to say happens within our community. But I think it's very important. The people who are making the decisions are the people who are on the benches. We can advocate for various sentences we can advocate and be voices for the victim, and we can go before the courts and we can bring up all of these facts and circumstances. But oftentimes it falls on deaf ears. And so we want to make sure that we continue to advocate, that we don't give up, and our voices are strong, and our voices are heard by the people from the bench. I think it goes a little bit farther than that as well. I think if everybody, I apologize if I'm taking up some time or maybe making a statement that I don't want to say would be offensive, but oftentimes, as we see in the last couple of years, where there may have been certain bills, certain laws that have been going through Lansing that are more what we call hug-a-thug related, or more focusing on defendants' rights versus victims. Victims' rights right now, when we have a police report and we have to give up that police report as part of discovery, we are not allowed, pursuant to the court decisions that come from our Court of Appeals, that come from the Supreme Court, we are not allowed to redact the victim's information from those police reports. However, when we file cases within the court system, we have to protect the information, the personal identifying information of a defendant. That just seems so wrong, that we don't, why aren't we allowed to protect the victims of crime versus protecting the personal identifying information of defendants? And that comes from our courts. Other laws that were being considered was a truth in sentencing law, where they were talking about giving defendants who are serving time in the Michigan Department of Corrections productivity credits. We're going to let them out of jail or prison early. We're going to get them out of prison early because they are earning productivity credits. And thankfully, the Prosecutors Association went before the House. They spoke on that, and that was not passed, but it's still being considered. So I think in further answer to your question, it's very, very important for us to be involved, to know what bills, what laws are being suggested, and trying to keep the focus on victims of crime. And I think it's very important who are making those decisions up in Lansing. And it's very important who are making those decisions in Livingston County while sitting on the bench.
Thank you. Any other commissioner? Closed discussion. We'll go to a roll call vote.
Commissioner Domas,
Yes.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Yes.
Commissioner Drick,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Panovich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Gross,
Yes.
and Commissioner Helserman.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank
We're
you,
now-
commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Prosecutor. We're on to 12F because E has been postponed to April 28th of this year. So 12F reads 2025-03-031. It's a resolution authorizing the extension of the lease agreement with American Tower Corporation, parentheses, also known as GTP Acquisition Partners, Roman numeral 2 LLC, close parentheses, for the tower located at 3254 South Latson Road, Howell, Michigan, brought to us by Central Dispatch.
So
May I
moved,
get-
Helserman.
Thank you.
Support Domas.
Motion by Helserman, support by Domas. Discussion. Commissioner Fiani.
I move to amend the resolution to add in the first, therefore, be it resolved at the end after tower, comma, GTP Acquisition Partners, Roman numeral 2, comma, LLC.
Second.
Okay.
You said?
Mhm.
Does everyone understand the amendment? So voting on the amendment,
Needed a second to get a second.
I heard Fiani Sample.
Okay.
Thank you. Discussion of the amendment? Seeing none, I believe I can do the amendment with a roll call.
Correct.
Roll call vote, then kindly say aye if you're in support of the amendment.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no or nay. That's a 9-0 to accept the Fiani amendment to add those words. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Jay Gross.
Chair, I apologize. I should have asked the question sooner. Documentation supporting this resolution was pulled together several months ago and it contains the original pricing that was proposed. Since then, the amount of rent has been reduced. I'm just curious, have we received anything from the vendor in writing documenting the new price?
Do you think it was reduced a second time or just one time? I remember seeing the reduced one-time change in the paperwork I had.
Yeah, it's on page 28
It's
of
like
your packet.
4,900 or
Yeah, it's
4,600.
4,700 now. It was north of
Yeah,
6,200 previously.
That's
So
what I remember.
in the amendment, it's reflected the new monthly price.
All right, so that's cleaned up. Good. Any other comment, discussion, or? So now we have an amended motion that'll require a roll call vote.
Commissioner Helserman,
Yes.
Commissioner Domas.
Yes.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Yes.
Commissioner Drick,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Panovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Gross.
Yes.
The amended resolution passed.
Thank you. We're on to 12G, and it's number 2025-03-032. It's a resolution to submit the estimated 2026 general fund budget to the Tax Allocation Board, brought to us by Fiscal Services, and questions would be fielded by our Cindy Arbanas.
So moved.
First,
Nakagi.
a motion. I hear Commissioner Nakagiri moves.
Support Deaton.
Support by Commissioner Deaton. Any questions, analysis, objections, discussion? I'll close that then, seeing none, and we'll go to a roll call vote because I believe the attorneys told us that
Correct.
late.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Yes.
Commissioner Drick,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Panovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Gross,
Yes.
Commissioner Helserman,
Yes.
Commissioner Domas.
Yes.
Commissioner Sample.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're on to 12H. It's number 2025-03-033. It's a resolution authorizing the issuance of purchase orders for annual software maintenance and renewals at Information Technology. Can I get a motion?
So moved Deaton.
Support Gross.
Motion by Deaton, support by Gross. Any questions, discussion, analysis needed? Seeing none, I'll close that and we'll go to a voice vote. All those in favor kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed kindly say nay. Hearing none, the voice vote results were 9-0. It passed. We're on to 2025-03-034. It's a resolution authorizing a master agreement contract renewal with Windstream for telephone service and internet services in our county, brought by Information Technology. Can I get a motion to proceed with that?
So moved Deaton. Chair. Second Deaton.
I'm hearing Commissioner Domas and a second by Commissioner Deaton, correct? Thank you. Any questions, analysis, comment, discussion? Seeing none, I'll close that, and I believe,
Voice vote will work.
all right. The authority told me we're good. Voice vote, please. All those in favor kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. We've got a 9-0 voice vote, passage of 12.
Thank you, Commissioners. Just want to say I'll be consulting with my tech support Father Time in regard to Sheriff Murphy's hair color filters.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you kindly. 12J, it's number 2025-03-035. It's a resolution authorizing the addition of 5 irregular part-time positions at Emergency Medical Services. Can I get a motion?
So move Deaton, second Deaton.
I'm hearing motion by Gross, second by Deaton. Any further discussion, analysis, or questions needed? Seeing none, we'll go to voice vote. All those in favor kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? My ears tell me it was 9-0. It passes. We're on to 12K. It's number 2025-03-036. It's a resolution authorizing the use of general fund Vision Tour funds and an agreement with Schaefer Construction, Inc. for the construction of an EMS base in Putnam Township, brought to us by Emergency Medical Services.
So move sample.
Support Gross.
Motion by Sample, support by Gross. Any further discussion or questions needed or necessary? Seeing none, I'll close that and go to a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Yes.
Commissioner Drick,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Panovich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani.
Yes.
Commissioner Gross,
Yes.
Commissioner Helserman,
Yes.
Commissioner Domas.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're at 12L.
Somebody woke up.
It's on number 2025-03-037. It's a resolution authorizing the approval of a land lease with Putnam Township for the construction of an EMS substation, brought to us by Emergency Medical Services. Can I get a motion?
So move sample.
Support Domus.
I'm hearing Commissioner Sample moved, Commissioner Domas seconded it. Is there any discussion, questions, analysis needed? Commissioner Sample, you have the floor.
This is a pretty good lease for the county. It's $1 a year, so I think we can afford lease payments.
Thank you. We're always frugal.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other commissioners wish to talk? Commissioner Gross.
I'd just like to point out to my colleagues, or our colleagues, that I have the understanding that the township clerk is willing to pay the dollar.
All 99 residents. They're right here for 99 years.
Wow. Let's do more business with this township.
I'd like to propose an amendment, make it 0.
So we're to the point of a voice vote for 12L. All those in favor kindly say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? I'm hearing none. We have a passage of 12L 9-0. We're on to 12M, which is number 2025-03-038. It's a resolution authorizing the use of general fund Vision Tour funds and an agreement with Schaefer Construction, Inc. for the construction of an EMS base in Cohocton Township, brought to us by Emergency Medical Services. Can I get a motion?
Second sample.
I'm hearing motion by Helserman and a second by Commissioner Sample. Any discusussion, questions, analysis? Commissioner Helserman.
This is in my district, and Cohocton Township has been waiting for this for quite a while. They thought it was going to happen, and finally it is. And so thank you for all who worked on it and pushed for it, and all who will vote for it. Thank you.
Any other comment or question, discussion? Seeing none, I'll close that and we'll go to a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Helserman,
Yes.
Commissioner Domas,
Yes.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Yes.
Commissioner Drick,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Panovich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Gross.
Yes.
Motion carries.
We're on to 12N, and it's number 2025-03-039. It's a resolution authorizing the approval of a land lease with Cohocton Township for the construction of an EMS substation brought to us by Emergency Medical Services. Can I get a motion?
So move, Helserman.
Second, Sample.
Motion by Helserman with a second by Commissioner Sample. Any discussion needed? Commissioner Gross.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to offer a motion to amend this resolution in the first and only therefore it be resolved, add the, after lend lease agreement with Cohocton Township, that we insert the wording at a rental rate of $1 per year. So that rate is spelled out within the confines, probably 8 or 9 of the lease agreement, but I think it should be spelled out within the resolution, just as we did for the one for Putnam Township.
Support.
Thank you. We have a motion to amend by Gross with support by Helserman. Madam Clerk, do you have the language or you all set?
Can I just ask, is that language, Commissioner Gross, in the first agreement with Putnam, is that same language in there for $1? Then I'll be fine. I'll be able to take it from there. And it was after the first, be it further resolved, correct?
Inside the body of that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So now we're to the point of discussion on the amendment. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll close and we'll go to a voice vote on the amendment to add those words. All those in favor kindly say aye.
Aye.
And any opponent, anybody opposed to the amendment? So I'm getting a voice vote of 9-0 on the amendment.
Is the language added to the therefore be it resolved or the be it further resolved?
Therefore be it resolved.
That's what I thought it was going to be the therefore be it resolved, but I thought I heard somebody say be it further resolved.
That's what I read. Is it be it resolved?
Yeah, be it
Okay.
resolved.
Are we good or would you like?
So, no, it's on the first,
Yeah.
be
The first
be
one,
it
yeah,
resolved.
yeah.
No, we'll be good, Commissioner. Thank you for that clarification.
So with that amendment now, we're moving to a vote on the totality of the amended resolution. All those in favor kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 9-0 on the total resolution. It passes. We're on to 12-0. It's a resolution number 2025-03-040. It's a resolution in response to the submission of a petition to determine a normal lake level for Fawcett Lake, brought to us by our Drain Commissioner. Can I get a motion?
Yeah, support Domas.
Motion by Commissioner Helserman, support by Commissioner Domas. We have representatives here. Does anyone need further questions or answers? Commissioner
Yeah,
Nakagiri.
Mr. Recker or Mr. Dempsey could. The resolution requires a deposit of $10,000 and then the engineering study, and then we're appointing the drain commissioner to be the designated authority. When, can you just elaborate on the kind of a projected schedule of when we might see the engineering study and when it might be coming back to the board to make a decision on whether we are going to move forward on this project or not?
Sure. Not when last week.
So we already have an engineer in line through our QBS. The proposal for that study was $3,700. $4,700. And we actually already received a deposit of that $4,700. I know Commissioner Gross had asked, have we received anything for that at the previous subcommittee meeting? We have received a check that we're holding at this time. It depends on their schedule. I don't have anything exact. A lot of that work, as far as a preliminary study, had been completed. You had talked about a couple of the previous studies, the wade trim study that you might have seen. So a lot of the background is there. It's just putting it together for a preliminary study to really have a comprehensive picture. I would say sometime midsummer. I mean,
I was thinking 6 to 8 weeks, but I think midsummer would be a very conservative estimate.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other questions or comment? Seeing none, the discussion portion is closed. We'll go to a voice vote for the resolution. All those in favor kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 9-0 passes on the voice vote. We're on to 12P. It's number 2025-03-041. It's a resolution approving the special assessment roll, also project costs, and issuance of special assessment district notes for the repairs of the Thompson Lake Dam. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Support, Haldeman.
Motion by Doma, support by Helserman. Any discussion, questions on the Thompson Lake Dam resolution? I have a question. Is there a designated interest rate on the notes that the bank is interested in?
Yes, 5.19%.
Thank you. Any other questions or comment in discussion? Commissioner Nakagiri, proceed.
Yeah, was curious on the establishment of 5.19%. Is that, I mean, I think like on the bond that we're looking at for Portage Baseline that goes out to bid, how does the note work? You know, are you familiar with that aspect of things?
Not as much as bond counsel or financial consultant would be that's on the line later for the Portage Baseline call. This particular note was bid without a request for county pledge of full faith and credit since it was under the $600,000 threshold. And the market for bids on a note without county pledge of full faith and credit and a note with a lower financial amount, dollar amount of borrowing, typically you get a smaller number of bids.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions on Thompson Lake Dam or the notes? Seeing none, that portion is closed. We'll go to a
Reflected as a voice vote, Mr. Chair.
it's reflected in my first agenda said it was going to be a roll call. So
We can't error with a roll call.
let's do a roll call. It's spending money.
Okay. Commissioner Domas,
Yes.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Yes.
Commissioner Drick,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Panovich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Gross,
Yes.
and Commissioner Helserman.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're on to item 12Q, and it's number 2025-03-042. It's a resolution approving the special assessment roll and project costs for repairs to the Portage Base Lake Dam.
So move Sample.
Support, Domas.
Motion by Sample, support by Domas. Any discussion from commissioners? I have a question. I may have missed it in the paperwork. The resolution says the Board of Commissioners approves the computation of costs, but I didn't see a dollar number. What are we approving in a dollar number?
There should have been a computation of costs for the entire project. The
2.1 million.
for the entire project, but our portion. The 1.1.
Our portion is about 1.1 million, 55% of that number. Correct.
That, the 55, yeah, 55% of the 2.1 million.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have. Anybody else? And I'm going to call for a roll call vote on the Portage Lake Dam item 12Q. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri.
Yes.
Commissioner Drick,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Panovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Gross,
Yes.
Commissioner Helserman,
Yes.
Commissioner Domas.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next item is 12R. It's a resolution number 2025-03-043. It's a resolution pledging full faith and credit for the Portage Baseline Lake Level Assessment District 2025 Lake Level Bonds.
So moved, Sample.
Any second?
Support Domas.
Commissioner Sample is moved. Commissioner Domas is seconded. Open for discussion. Any hands, any takers? Commissioner Nakagiri.
Yeah, I just want to remind my colleagues that by statute, this requires a 2/3 vote. I also want to share, I expressed concern. I had a bunch of questions at the committee meeting. I had an opportunity to talk with bond counsel, Stephen Mann. I can see he's on Zoom here. I thank Mr. Mann for all the time he spent with me and answering all my questions. You know, he put my mind at ease in terms of the very little risk that we have if we essentially, I'm going to call it co-sign this loan. I still have a question. It won't change, you know, it won't change my vote for this evening. But I'm just to share with my colleagues, there'll be a point at which pledging our full faith and credit for many I'll say related projects, other dam projects, other projects in general. would like a better, I'll say numerical understanding of what our limit is. I don't have that now, but I don't think we're at that limit. And I'll be chatting with fiscal services and county administration to try to answer that question before we get more similar full faith and credit requests. Because, you know, we did have issues here back in the Great Recession. You know, we had to convene a debt management committee because we overextended ourselves. In speaking with Mr. Mann, you know, in the same Great Recession, Wayne County ran into problems that I don't believe we're going to run into those same problems. We're in a lot stronger financial shape. But I'll just say this, it is not without risk, but the risk is very small. Thank you very much.
Any other comment, discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri.
Yes.
Commissioner Drick,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Panovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Gross,
Yes.
Commissioner Helserman,
Yes.
Commissioner Domas.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're on to number 12S on our agenda. It reads 2025-03-044. It's a resolution establishing a fund balance policy for Livingston County General Fund, Fund 101, brought to us by Board of Commissioners. Can I get a motion?
So moved, Nakagiri.
Support Gross.
Motion by Commissioner Nakagiri, support by Commissioner Gross. Discussion, questions, analysis. I would like to discuss the potential amendment to have the updates that are mentioned quarterly and spelled out as quarterly updates. I understand we've got an action to take if there's a 2-year problem. And then the next portion of the policy talks about how soon we get reports. And I'd like to advocate that we consider that those reports come to us quarterly. Mr. Byrd, you have the floor. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. In the last, for the resolve, just says periodic updates. If you'd like that to be quarterly updates, I'm comfortable with that.
Comfortable with that?
Yeah.
In that case, I would make an official amendment to change the word periodic in the last, be it further resolved, to the word quarterly. It's been moved and supported. Dirk made the motion.
Could you repeat
Gross
what you
made
said?
the second. If you're looking at the resolution.
Periodic, you're changing the word to
Quarterly.
quarterly.
So it's just more definite, more specific.
And that's in the last, be it further resolved.
Yes.
Is that given at the FAM? Or that's how will we know that we get this?
It's to Board of Commissioners, so we have 2 meetings a month. We could do it at the second Monday or the fourth Monday, wherever it convenient for Nathan to get it done.
I would put something in writing also and distribute it every quarter to the board prior to one of our meetings.
On your,
Yeah.
your Friday updates or what?
That or otherwise,
No.
we'll figure out a time to get it to you in writing every quarter.
Okay.
Any other questions, analysis, comment? So I'll close that and we'll start with the amendment. Voice vote, all those in favor of the amendment. Kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 9-0, the voice vote is that the amendment passes to change the periodic to quarterly. Now we have an amended resolution. Any discussion or questions on that? Seeing none, I will close discussion, and it's a voice vote on the amended resolution. Kindly say aye if you're in favor.
Aye.
And if you're opposed, kindly say no or nay. I'm hearing 9-0, the amendment resolution, voice vote passes. So we have a fund balance policy going forward. We're on to 12T, which is number 2025-03-045. It's a resolution amending resolution 2023-03-033, establishing a uniform procedure for nominating and selecting citizens for board-appointed committee/board positions. Author and scrivener apparently is Commissioner Fiani. Can I get a motion?
So move sample.
Support, Nakagiri.
Motion by Commissioner Sample, support by Commissioner Nakagiri. Discussion. Commissioner Fiani, is there anything you'd like to bring our specific attention to?
No, thank you.
We've
Read it.
I'll close discussion then, because I'm seeing no hands, and we'll go to a voice vote. All those in favor, kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Voice vote is passed at 9-0 for 12T. We're now on to 12U. It is entitled 2025-03-046. It's a resolution authorizing the sending of requests for proposals for obedience to court order as to spending opioid settlement funds for court treatment and/or education, harm reduction, or adverse impacts in Livingston County. Brought to us by Board of Commissioners. I know the author. Can I get a motion?
So moved, Domas.
Motion by Commissioner Domas,
Second sample.
second by Commissioner Sample. Discussion, analysis, questions. Commissioner Helserman.
I have a question. Who will be making this request for proposal? Because it sounds like quite a broad subject here. And so are we looking for an administrator for the program? Or are we looking for 5 organizations that will pick 3 organizations or more than one organization to fund? How will the RFP be sent out?
Chairman, would you like me to address that?
Proceed.
Yeah, so,
Yes.
the Michigan Association of Counties has a template RFP that we're going to base this on. We're just going to personalize it to Livingston County. So I'll be doing that between now and April 14th when the resolution says it'll go out. I'll share that with you before we put it out. The resolution identifies several organizations that we will send the RFP to. It also says that commissioners can request for it to be sent to other organizations. I already got 2 of those from commissioners wanting it to go elsewhere. We also will put this RFP on our website. Whenever we do an RFP, it needs to be available. We're not using CoPro or anything like that, but we will put it on our website for people to view publicly. And so that's the intent. It'll be, I'll work on getting the language personalized to Livingston County. On April 14th, it'll be posted and sent to the organizations identified in the resolution. And we haven't identified yet how long we'll keep it out there, but we'll keep it out there for enough time for people to see it. And then as it comes in, or as the proposals come in, the opioid funding is assigned to FAM, to the FAM committee. So those will be directed to FAM committee, all commissioners, and we'll need to set up a process for how we're going to vet these to get the ball down the road on making funding decisions. There's no limit to how many we can fund. There's no cap put on it. Whatever we get, we'll review and put forward to the board and see where we go from there.
So we're not particularly looking for one organization to overlook the whole situation. We're open to a variety of solutions.
I think we should be, Exhibit E sort of outlines what it can be spent on, and so we may get a lot of good ideas from different sources, and so we should be open to that at least through this point of the process. The funding is going to come in annually. We don't have a great handle on exactly how much is going to come in, but it'll be substantial over the next few years, the money that's going to come in from these settlements. There are still some settlements that are pending that will likely increase what we get, and so it's a good time to start working on this and getting an idea of what sorts of programming opportunities there are in the county, because we'll have ability to spend this money as soon as we get to a comfort level on the different organizations that are possible.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Commissioner Gross.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 2 things. We've heard verbally during call to the public tonight, and we've received some documentation. The folks from Alano, the Alano Club, are interested in participating in this, and I'm wondering, has their name been already?
Yep. I received an email from Commissioner Nakagiri late today that had contact information from one of the speakers here. So the RFP will go to them as soon as it's available, as soon as it's posted.
As a follow-up to that, during the call to the public, there was reference to their needs for purchasing a building. I don't know that the opioid funds that we have could be applied for that, and I don't want to throw a damper on the subject, but I suspect we're not going to be able to help with that. But it sounds like they do have programs that could very well fill the bill for this.
What I would suggest to the board is that as you start to identify how you want to use this funding, I would ask legal to review Exhibit E and then to maybe give us a write-up on permissible uses versus impermissible uses. When we had the ARPA money, that was the role the Guidehouse served for us to run it through an eligibility criteria. We should probably do the same with this money using our legal team, and I would suggest that. I don't want to comment on whether that may or may not be fundable, but we would have that answer before a decision was made.
Yeah, I agree. Guidehouse was, as you suggested, it was in the back of my mind as well. They have somebody take a good look and determine that we're on solid ground. Yep. Thank you.
Commissioner Nakagiri, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I did, but I'm good. Thank
You're going to withdraw your hand? Yeah. Got it. Anybody else? Seeing none, discussion is now closed. This will be a voice vote. All those in favor kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. 9-0, voice vote passes. We're on to item 12, numbered 2025-03-047, the last resolution on your agenda. It's a resolution approving the tentative agreement between the Livingston County Board of Commissioners and the Michigan Association of Firefighters representing paramedics. Can I get a motion?
So move sample.
Support Gross.
Motion by Commissioner Sample, support by Commissioner Gross. Does anyone need a presentation or question and answers from Jennifer Palmas? Anyone have any questions or comment overall? Any analysis? Commissioner Nakagiri?
I just have a question of curiosity here. So it's item V that has a little asterisk by it. What is that to denote something about the resolution?
I think it's to call our attention to it's one of the revised ads.
Okay, thank you.
I reviewed the changes. They seem to be good. And as long as our director is happy with them, I'm happy with them. So
I think he wants to tell us all about it.
He does.
I'm pretty sure.
Any words? Happy?
Well put.
One more words, I should be elected, not
I'll close discussion on that good note.
I'm not sure.
I'll close discussion and we're spending money. It would seem like a roll call, but it's not on it. Let's do roll call.
Give me just a moment here. Oh, I was hiding them from myself. Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Yes.
Commissioner Drick,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Panovich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Gross,
Yes.
Commissioner Helserman,
Yes.
Commissioner Domas.
Yes.
Motion carries.
We're at item number 13 on our agenda tonight. It's entitled Accounts Payable Reports. Sub A reads claims dated March 24, 25, and Club B, paragraph B reads payables dated February 14 through February 27, 2025. Can I get a motion to cover both A and B?
So move.
Gross.
Commissioner Gross moves, and it was Commissioner Domas, I believe,
Yes.
seconded. Thank you kindly. Any discussion? Seeing none, voice vote. Kindly say aye if you're in favor.
Aye.
Any opposed? 9-0 is the voice vote for A and B. We're to call to the public number 2 tonight. It's a 2-minute call that people that wish to inform us of things have 2 minutes. Do we have cards?
I have Valerie Nemec, the Putnam Township Clerk.
Thank you. First of all, Commissioner Drake, I want to say you run a great meeting. And Clerk
Thanks.
Conley, it is such an honor to work with you. You are an incredible mentor and leader for all the clerks in Putnam Township, or I'm sorry, Livingston County.
All of us clerks.
how many clerks are there?
Wow. There's Ed Clerk and Thomas Clerk.
Thank you, Valerie.
Okay, so you spend a lot of money here tonight, and we wanted to help with that at Putnam Township. So, in 2.5 days, we got 99 people to each donate $1 to pay for the 99 years of the lease. I have copies of this for all of you because they are absolutely hilarious. Some of the ways that people identified themselves here. So this is the first piece of art to hang on the wall in the new EMS building.
Oh, nice. Thank
And
you.
this is the $99, which I will hand to you. And you can hand it back to pay for the 99 years.
Jenny.
Please, we're square.
Jenny.
Okay? Thank you very much to all of you. for
You need to,
all the
I,
work.
actually, I'm sure of finance. I think I do. I want to count it and make sure it's.
Really, you know, well, like these were actually
Thanks, Rick.
collected by people. They are.
It's good.
You can tell by the weight.
All right, thank you. It's been great working with you on this. And you,
A pleasure.
Yeehaw.
Thank you.
Putnam Township is super
Thank you,
excited
Dave.
about this. And we should have thought of this earlier to help fund because $99 in 2.5 days. We've been working on this for 3 or 4 years. We could have pretty much paid for the thing.
I know, another 1.4 million, we'd be all set.
I have no further cards.
Krista, anyone on Zoom?
Commissioner, I don't have any hands, but we're gonna try Bill again. He switched over to a computer now, so hopefully we'll be able to hear him. Go ahead, Bill.
Thank you. Can you hear me now? Are we coming through?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you for your time and thank you to the commissioners. I apologize for wearing my baseball cap. If you could see me on video, I normally would show a little more respect for the venue, but I didn't
Bill,
get a
could
chance to
you
do my
start
hair.
with, Bill, could you start with your full name and where you reside?
Yes, Bill Hunter, Green Oaks Township.
Thank you. You are now on 2 minutes because we're not
Thank you.
taking that away from you.
Thank you. My time is to attend to the opioid settlement resolution. Some of my questions were answered by the gentleman that was speaking during the discussion prior to the resolution being voted on. I didn't get his name, and I'd like to get that before we're done, please. Secondly, I am a recovering alcoholic, and I too am an active participant at the Eleno Club. I was a past board member, and during that time, my term expired last year, but we did a number of statistics about what we do there. And what I wanted to emphasize to the board is that as you're reviewing the various proposals that will be coming in from a lot of very good and competent resources in the recovery community, that the Eleno Clubs on average serves over 3,000 visitors per month. There's no one in this room or any of the people listed in your advisory on the resolution and who will be solicited that comes anywhere near having that much contact with the recovering alcoholic and addict. Having that social opportunity is extremely important and has proven to be the most effective way to ensure sobriety. And I certainly hope that your judgment is at the street level where the need is the most. That is with the various people that are involved trying to get the recovery underway and trying to manage the recovery in an effective manner. So I hope you keep that in mind, and I'll look forward to working with the club and helping them put their proposal together. Again, can I get the name of the gentleman who was answering some questions there for the commissioners during the discussion?
Bill, I'm gonna go ahead and send it to you in the chat really quick. You should have
Okay,
it.
that would be great.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for your time, commissioners.
Very welcome. Anyone else on Zoom? Put your hand up now.
Oh, Commissioner, I do not see any.
And I concur. The call to the public number 2 for the evening is now closed. We're at item number 15, commissioner comments.
I got one.
Commissioner Sample.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the commissioners tonight for the unanimous votes that benefit my area as far as the Flock Dam at Putnam Township, the Putnam Township EMS base. I'd like to thank the clerk from Putnam, Valerie Nemec. I'd like to thank David Felposh and his team with the EMS working together to push this through. I'd like to thank the past people that were involved that helped that ball get rolling because it's been going on for a long time. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any further? Seeing none, item number 15 is now closed. We're on to adjournment. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Helserman.
Support Deaton.
Motion by Helserman, support by Commissioner Deaton. All those voice vote kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 9-0, it passes. We're adjourned.